So as you begin your march towards Ulrich's temple, Silny is probably with you guys too, right?
Shook it, sure. Let's do it.
Okay, I didn't know if she. I assume Jericho would not really leave her out of his.
No, ideally no.
Yeah.
Also, we never actually did address it, but if Jericho did divert back to his hovel, would he have found the kid still there?
Oh,
Gorilla?
that is a good point. I thought you guys had integrated him into some protective care with the army.
Fucking yeah.
That's totally reasonable. Jericho would rather not leave him in his house as the army continues to march.
Yeah. No, I thought that was already collected. I just didn't.
Cool.
I didn't realize that.
Good by me.
Yeah, exactly. So. Okay. The people that are involved here are going to be Bella, and going Baron with the Bernadette, and gonna be some bears. And then let me go find the Bay Hill token real quick. Oh my god, the sheep on the bidding stock. Forgot about that. Remember when that happened, everyone? Amazing. Where is... Oh. There he is. And then we need some veterans. Yeah, these are my veterans. Just pulling random tokens. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Right. So, some veterans for you, Morella. Here's people and here. And then here's some bears for you, Baron. Congratulations.
Oh wait, I forget. Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a halfling or a half elf?
Half elf.
Okay.
He was a halfling with Petrov.
Okay. Might want to consider. I might turn you into a quarter elf at some point, so be prepared.
How would that even work?
Just go with it.
I don't think quarter elf is like a recognized subrace. I'm pretty sure you're still half elf. The proportions are just slightly inaccurate at that point.
I'm sorry, what? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds correct. So as the group of you begins to march, there's some mounted. Obviously, Morelli, you're traveling with the with the veterans, and as you begin to approach closer, you can hear what sound like drums, like. And as you get up to about this location in the map, you all begin to see what appears to be a large kind of crowd of people here. And they all look like Norsemen. And it looks like in the course of the couple of hours they've had, at the very least, they have formed into some semblance of an opposing force. And you can see two distinct, like, contingents. And you can see that, like, they're chanting something, or you can hear that they're chanting. You can't see that they're chanting. You can hear that they're chanting something. Like, with the beat of the drums, like, boom, 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 boom. And as you approach closer, you can hear that they are chanting, a cold, a cold, a cold, a cold. Now, you guys may or may not remember. You can decide what the name of that individual was, but they do appear to be chanting that, as if they have come together in some form of unity with his untimely demise. Can you roll a performance? Sure. Absolutely, yeah. Roll a performance check. Let's see what happens.
To drown them.
Yes, to drown them.
Oh, fuck me.
So
Killing it.
Farron, you're riding Bernadette, and you command her to leap up on top of a small building, and you cast your voice out across the masses behind you. What do you say that drowns out this beating of drums, lowering the morale of your men and women?
Those guys can't beat us. We are the better people and our army.
Okay, so
We are the better people.
can you just go ahead and subtract 15 from that roll?
I'm trying not to be mean, but the desire is strong. Just bard to bard.
So, for everybody that isn't some random unnamed NPC in this army, in fact, like, Morelli, you're walking with the veterans, and they're like, haha, how much grog did he have today, right? Like, they're, like, laughing at him, but, like, it's inspiring them at the same time. Cahill probably, like, leans down to you, Aelin, like, and he's like, is your friend always this loud? Just distinctly remember, this was to drown them out, not to say something inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say anything, Aelin?
Megan?
Megan?
How long ago did we lose Megan?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe she fell asleep.
She's off. She's away.
He's away. Yeah.
Hmm.
Can I get a Megan check, everybody? Thank you. Appreciate that.
She said
Okay.
BRB at 8:23.
Oh, what?
8:23.
That's a bit much.
So right before the Kree fight. Not sure if she's back from that.
I hope that wasn't something. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on in her life. She did say that things weren't great right now. Maybe she got some bad news about something.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, we won't worry about that now. And we will continue on into moving right along with the intention of the fight. So for the group of you outside, Morella and Farron, is the battle plan here just to charge their ranks? You can tell that their forces are arrayed. They have a lot of them. The disadvantage here is actually fighting with a lot of soldiers in these kind of cramped city streets is actually bad for them. Individual skill actually outweighs numbers in these types of fights. So you guys may not have the numbers advantage, but you definitely have the strategic advantage here, I would say.
If you can't surround an entire bear, the bear's probably going to maul you to death.
Just like the whole bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think of anything at the moment.
Okay.
So
Is it simply then a clash of titans here? Is that what we're going to see?
I think Marilla is going to divert the veterans to hit them from the side.
Okay,
So-
yeah. Let the bear riders and the knights kind of charge in while you flank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Certainly
sense.
Because
we're going
especially
down
with
this...
skilled combatants attacking from behind, it's asking for a good slaughter.
Yeah. Yeah, this like through the eyes of the Norsemen here. This is kind of like the final stand for them. Like their leader has been slain. They they've been kind of scattered and discombobulated. Yeah, so this is kind of like their final go at it before all the bad stuff starts happening. So they are definitely willing to just kind of square up and fight you mano a mano, or mano e Bernadetto. And I think that I think there's far less like ceremony here. It's simply like eventually you get to a point where like everything kind of charges, and I think it's purposely anticlimactic in this sense of like we get the depiction of war is war, right? Like that's the kind of scenario that we're in. So I will tell you this, Kree. Take a long rest, and then let me know when you join in. Oh my god, I did a bad thing.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I fixed the bad thing.
Did you? Did you really?
Yeah, roll your dice for a long rest, and then let me know when you want to come in. If you want to join this battle, or if you just want to like show up at the temple, or what you want to do. Whenever you want to insert yourself is totally fine.
Kree knows all the plans because Dane told him.
Right, exactly. In the meantime, why doesn't everyone on the outside roll initiative for me, please?
Jesus, dude.
I don't think that's full health.
See, so the disadvantage to having so much health is you can burn through those hit dice real fast.
Yep.
Real fast.
Do you have a bard somewhere in your army?
Is that a baby?
No, that's my cat.
Oh.
That was pretty clearly a cat.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know what he wants. He's being so needy. Damn old coot.
So I was right. That is not full health.
You jump on my lap again.
Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 hit die.
Yeah.
Again, the disadvantage.
10.
Okay, that's full health.
Okay.
He just had to spend all of his hit die just to get full health. No big deal.
Why doesn't everybody roll me initiative?
Okay, us too?
Yeah, you guys inside the building actually should roll initiative as well. It will prompt when we go in and do exploration stuff throughout this scenario.
Good job, mate.
As usual, Morella is a slow and patient type, obviously.
Damn, Jericho, you didn't do too well either.
Right?
That's surprising from Jericho.
I mean, mine isn't, but...
I've actually had decent initiatives. I just rolled poorly this time.
So I just want to join in whenever it would seem like
Most
it had
fitting.
gotten the most out of hand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's going to happen.
Oh,
there's no choice.
100% is. 100%.
I mean,
is.
maybe if you show up earlier, it'll be less out of hand,
Oh,
but
quick.
less dramatic.
Did I ever rendezvous with these guys? Because that was the whole point of going up here in the first place.
definitely going to have done that for sure.
Okay. That was literally the point of going up here.
Kale's just gonna go on the knight's turn, which is fine. And then I just need to roll for these bad boys.
I'm also going to assume Halen as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're a couple. They can go together.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You make a fair assessment of the situation.
Exactly.
Are they wearing matching chainmail at this point?
Listen, don't judge them, okay? We don't
She's
judge.
in chainmail. He's in plate mail.
Yeah, we don't judge people here, okay? And then let's go over here, and I don't know, do I have a Silny? Wait, that's the one I forgot to. Damn, Silny's the one I forgot to build.
How dare you? Can I have John's character sheet, please?
No.
Why don't you give it to me?
because you'll do bad things with it. Ooh, nope.
You were told.
19. Mostly because I didn't actually make it. I was lying to you the whole time.
Ooh.
Total is 15. Not bad, John.
Beeping, booping, loony tuning.
Alright, so Baron, your bear riders charge in dramatically. They clash forces with the Norsemen, who are also charging through the streets with their big mauls and hammers and general instruments of death. But you get the first action. Now, remember, those of you outside are in this weird, like, you can do a lot of things more narratively than what can happen otherwise. So, feel free to do what you will with that.
I think as we're charging in to help disrupt their formations a bit, I'm going to cast one of my new spells.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Bringing out the new spell already. I like it.
Good call, baby.
And this one has ridiculous range on it, but I cast Ice Storm.
Yeah.
Fancy.
So, as is customary with any new spell that we use, what does Ice Storm look like?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, Daniela.
These are the roll hacks I was talking about, by the way.
Holy crap.
Just so everyone's aware, I rolled a 19, a 16, or a 17, a 16, and then a 20.
Yeah.
And then a 20. Sorry. 2 20s in a row.
Yeah, 2 20s in a row.
Fantastic. So what does it look like? Describe how it impacts them, etc.
Yeah, so Ice Storm starts as just a small kind of snowball that floats through the air at high speed, and then when it reaches its destination, it just erupts into this 20-foot radius, 40-foot high blizzard that just starts buffeting everyone, like wind swirling round, like loose stones, like swirling, and the temperature just dropping rapidly.
Yeah, and it's going to severely cripple and wreck these. They didn't even pass their save. So what the? Why aren't you working? So as your ice storm begins to tear into this group, you see like the Norsemen are kind of being like pulled away and thrown up against buildings, and like you see them like careening through the sky a little bit, and like there's a giant ice storm. Just as Will so aptly described it. Dealing, it doesn't say that much damage, but it is going to be significantly more damage because of the clustering and power of the spell.
That great, despite it being 2d8 plus 4d6.
Jesus, you rolled shit.
Yeah, and their forces appear to be scattered and kind of discombobulated by this massive ice storm that has appeared kind of within their midst. And yeah, they appear injured by that just before the shock troop of the bear riders descends upon them.
And so then I think I shout out, "I've weakened them up, Morella," as I inspire her to charge in from the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Inspired she shall be. So next in the turn order is actually Daniela. So for this, what I think I'm going to do here is we're going to have a little bit of exploration, a little bit of chill, no combat exploration for the group of you.
Right, that's definitely going to work out.
So feel free to move about the cabin at your leisure. but always be aware of the fasten seatbelt sign when it should pop up.
So all of us can move?
Yeah.
Okay, which way was the everybody
Directly
else should
south, I think.
Yeah, it's due
Okay.
south is where the nasty stuff.
I still have detect magic up, or at least I should,
Mhm.
for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Can I see any magic around us?
So in your general vicinity, in your sight radius, no, it doesn't appear like there's any magic in particular.
Okay. Where were the undead?
What do you mean? Where were the undead?
Where were they in relation to the church? Like where we are now?
So they're in the courtyard, which is actually at the front of the church. You being in the back currently, right?
Okay. And this door. I turn to Jericho and I'm like, I kind of say to him, nah, I'm not going to undo seeming. Or at least I'm not going to do unseeming on us. It's better to be stealthy. We could play it off like maybe we got lost.
Those are words I never thought I'd hear you say.
What? Play it safe. So you want to open this door?
May as well. The rest of you may want to step out of the line of sight.
Okay,
or
John,
fire.
remember, if something happens, dimension door out of here. You can do that, right?
You're a terrible teacher.
I'm not sure what that means.
I turned to Jericho and mentioned, I vastly overestimated how good John was.
How long have you known how to perform a dimension door?
About closing in on a year.
Right, and you're how old?
I am. Hold on, let me check. He goes, let me think.
I like to imagine. Yeah, I like to imagine like zombie Jericho and like a ghoul Hannibal like having this conversation outside the door.
I just turned 30 a couple days ago. So, would have appreciated that present.
I got you a dragon bone staff, Jericho says, and then opens the door.
But that wasn't on my birthday.
It was an advance. We're at war.
So as you open the door, like slowly creak it open, you can see this large glow coming from kind of the center of the room.
Okay.
And in addition, you can see about here, right at the edge of this balcony area that looks out over the lower platform. You can see where that. Oh wait, no, you can't. Hold on. Let me make it so that you can actually see it. Let me fix that. This game, we have to make people so they can see auras. There you go. You see that little aura right there?
Oh yeah.
Let me make it a better color, perhaps.
That colossal aura.
Yeah, let's make it. There you go. A little bit easier to see.
Honestly, it's less awful in here than I expected.
Actually, sure, you could keep thinking that.
What?
So
you don't have dark vision, do you?
Well, this is
Of course I
actually
have dark vision.
So this is actually lit up, so everybody can see this as you walk in. And what you see seated on that pedestal area right there in the center, you see a hooded individual, or at least you see an individual that is wearing a hooded cloak, but the hood is actually down for the first time since you've ever seen it. And what you see is, as you kind of gaze into the distance, into the interior of this big giant orb, or this big barrier that sits there, you see what kind of looks like a frail old man, whose skin is so wrinkled it almost appears cracked, and hair completely, or I should say head completely devoid of hair. But the one thing that is distinctive is those blue eyes that appear to you, and maybe this is some illusionary trick, but they appear that they are literally on fire, with this bluish flame. And you can see this individual is standing just in front of this large pedestal that holds this giant tome. And the individual appears to be kind of just like reading from it and studying it. Does not appear to have acknowledged your presence at all.
What are the chances that he could... You said that we're up high, aren't we?
Yeah, he probably can't see you right now. You're up on a second level. This is essentially, Jericho, for your knowledge, the place where you were hiding before you jumped down to go steal the staff.
Awesome.
And what does my detect magic tell me?
So your detect magic tells you that this entire bubble around him is abjuration magic.
Abjuration. Okay, can I make a check to try to identify the spell?
I mean, that'd be hard. The problem is there's actually a fair amount of things it could be.
If I could pass a successful check, can you give me 5 possible choices?
Sure, I'd have to look up 5, but I do believe there is actually 5 different choices here.
Okay.
Roll an Arcana check and we'll see. I'm not sure a 12 is quite high enough to identify.
Can Jericho try to do likewise?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
He's covered in Arcana.
Because you can see this, you can physically see this orb, right? Like this illusionary or abjuration bubble. Why don't you roll an Arcana check, Jericho?
Yeah, that is... Oh god, it's one of the 3 skills I don't have proficiency in. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, you guys aren't sure, man.
Hey, you want me to use the good rolls now or later?
Silly, come here.
Yeah, so she
comes... we should try to get everybody to do a check.
Look, it's abjuration magic. It's obviously repelling something. There are only so many things it could be repelling. Especially when it's that massive. It's not going to be some kind of force wall. It's probably a barrier against certain types of creatures. Might be to keep undead out. Might be to keep the living out, given how that guy looks.
Yeah, he's definitely on the verge of you're not quite sure.
Is there anyone or anything else in there apart from him and his book?
Doesn't appear to be. You can see the damage, which is represented by these shattered, vases all around. There's probably melted portions of the, these black spots here are probably melted portions of the tile work. From the dragon's acid breath.
Okay. So.
So I actually think that is probably a good spot to jump back into the action outside while you all think about this.
Okay.
So feel free to message each other if you have ideas or thoughts.
Okay, John, I'd like you to come over here and give it a check. Let's see if your training is coming to fruition.
So
he sent Dane in.
I don't have him anymore.
Well, that was your mistake.
Well, no, literally, it would not help.
It would if we threw Dane at it and he disintegrated. Sorry.
Okay. So we see.
Now you're thinking like Hannibal.
It is technically Aylin's turn. So.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Oh.
By the way, you have control of Daniela.
Yeah, I think I'm on the wrong screen.
Yeah, you are now. Hold on.
Because I'm not on the screen that we're on. Okay.
You all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I assume we're riding into battle. Yes.
Yes, that is exactly what you were doing.
You and Cahill have matching chainmail, apparently.
That was not canon, but I mean, if you want it, that's fine.
I ship it. All right.
I was right all along.
I think that right as this is happening, I think that Aylin kisses Cahill on the cheek and casts this on him.
Perfect.
I'm gonna dispel that.
Yeah,
Abjuration is not our friend.
So I think that he obviously doesn't realize it's happened. So he probably blushes and touches his cheek, and he tries to whisper, but you're also like mounted riding into battle, and there's like the clip clop of hooves and the clash of steel. So he kind of like whisper yells it, and he says, "Next time I would appreciate a favor as well," and like leaps into battle at that exact moment, right, to start cutting these Norsemen in half with his sword. Not realizing probably that you've given him literally protection from death.
It's okay. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he'll figure it out when like
almost died.
Yeah, he'll figure it out like when he gets a sword in his gut, and then he just like the sword pulls out and there's nothing there. Like he's totally fine.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but yeah.
You never know.
Given the way he seems to make tactical decisions.
So next on the list is, I can't tell. Next on the list is Morella. Is actually your veterans are the first up.
Oh boy!
So they get to charge in and start smashing some people up. Which I assume is what you're doing. You're smashing into this group of Norsemen right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let me veterans. They get 2 attacks. Actually, I'm sorry. They get 3 attacks. So they get
straight.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty. So double longsword and then the short sword.
If they would fucking hit.
True story. So they do hit 1 there. Right. Oops. Actually, do this wrong. Okay, yeah, I did it right now. Okay. So they don't deal a whole lot of damage. Their surprise attack hasn't really. It's probably because not all of them are engaged right now, right? Like they're still like filing into the battle, which is probably what represents their not a ton of damage, currently ongoing. But they are starting to make headway on the damage to the Norsemen, of which again they have numbers at the very least, but that just means that they'll be crushed even more
swiftly.
Well, not swiftly, but even more grotesquely, perhaps, because there are more in their number. So, fortunately, the next is actually it is Jericho's time. So,
lovely.
Moving to Jericho's turn, you guys all have another opportunity to act here.
Okay, I'm thinking. Leave this door alone for now. Go to the next one.
This is exactly why we think we're here. That is the book, isn't it?
Oh shit, yeah, it is.
He's in the middle of casting the horrifying spell that we're here to try to stop.
Is he casting right now? Can I, with detect magic, could I tell that he's casting something?
It just looks like he's reading, man. He's just a studious scholar.
I don't like the way that Jordan just said that. I do not like that way he said that at all.
When do you like anything he says? We're not supposed to. He's the GM.
That's true. Good point.
I mean, I suppose if we're about to jump him, then it wouldn't hurt to find out who he could call on. So sure, fine. West or east?
Are you gonna close this door?
Nah, too obvious.
Okay. All right.
He can't see us from the way that he's positioned.
Yeah, no, he's down.
Well, we can see him.
Yeah. But like he probably it'd be like
We've got the advantage on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So west or east?
Forget
it.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he
Jericho heads east.
Mommy, oh, what a coincidence! I chose east as well. I did it first though. So we're following my lead. Okay.
Your little troop of people.
That's right, John Spring, MVP.
And
just wait, he's gonna die saving you, and you're gonna have a feeling.
Jackson, a feeling? Never.
No,
Stuck on
not Jackson. Hannibal.
Hannibal or feeling? Never.
I already talked about Dalton. I have so many feelings, mostly anger and annoyance, but also just batshit craziness sometimes.
That's not an emotion.
It isn't?
This is what we need to, not talk about, actually. Anyway.
Get out of the way, you idiots. Don't go in.
We can't blame Jordan at this point.
I'm not gonna lie, I do actually really enjoy the Jericho Hannibal missions. It seems hilariously fun.
Okay, so that's a really massive.
Yeah, again, not really to scale.
I mean, I'm okay with it if it is. That raises further questions.
Yeah, things look a little bit. I wouldn't say
a 15-foot bed.
I wouldn't say rifled through, but it does appear that this is kind of like in disarray, probably from the massive attack that occurred before. So
Detect
like
magic.
you guys can, I mean, you still have it running, right? You don't sense any magic in the room, but performing searches, and as well, this is a door right here. In case that was unclear.
Cool. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, the handle is a little hard to see.
Well, let's check to see if there's anything in here, and Jericho will go to listen at this door.
Okay, roll a perception check.
And can I roll investigation?
On the room? Sure.
Shit, my rolls are fucked.
Welcome to Stars Without Number Life. Yep, here it is. Here comes everything.
Good God.
Here comes everything. Everything that's ever bad that's ever happened. Right, Will?
You just had to have this idea, didn't you?
What? It's still an 11.
Can you just stop with the roll 20 hacks, please, Jordan?
Jordan, from now on, you're only allowed to roll from your Twitch account.
Okay, good. So, Jericho, you hear the only noise that's, I think, discernible through the door is probably the sound of like dripping water. Like you hear every so often, you hear like a bloop, bloop. Because relatively it's pretty quiet in here. There's not like a whole lot of sounds of battle that have reached you yet.
Hannibal, is it at all strange to you that the guard just thought it was ordinary enough for us to come in here, and yet there's nothing happening?
He probably just didn't care. If those things have free will, then there's a chance that it doesn't care what it's doing. Especially, could I roll and some kind of I don't know, post-fact inside check to get an idea of that thing's personality?
Yeah, you can roll an insight check. It'll be harder though because it's kind of post, and these also are things that you don't know a whole lot about.
Okay, sure. Wow.
Yeah, not bad. So I think that that with that, oh Jesus, whoopsie doopsie daisies. Sorry, I made a boo boo. I made a big boo boo. So with this this guy, I think that what you realize is, yes, he definitely might have like free will, but I think that beyond that, there definitely was something weird going on beyond him just not caring. It definitely seems like there is not that there was a trap, but that maybe it wasn't so much that he didn't care, but it's almost like maybe it's what he was told to do if anybody shows up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
so it's
regardless of how it looked, like he might have been intended to look like he was guarding that area, but told not to. Regardless of who came over.
So I'll say to Jericho, I don't think he was even decided to guard that area. He was mostly just there for looks.
Not much of a look.
I think it's meant to drive out anybody that doesn't have the resolve.
Fantastic. So it's locked with the test of character. That sounds exactly like the Legions of the Undead. Is there anything in this room? Should we move on?
So your role, Hannibal, being a 10 investigation on the room, you find that it seems like it has been, kicked over. There's probably like some rubble that's been strewn about as well from like the roof caving in just the next room over. And it just generally looks like no one's really lived in here for a while.
Okay. Sorry.
It's a fun noise.
It's my phone. So like it just looks like that everything's been shit.
It looks pretty vacant as well. Yeah.
Okay. So could I at least get an idea of who lived in? Would it be like the head priest?
Yeah, it was probably one of the priests, right? Like probably one of the priests lived in this room here.
I can't imagine who else it would be.
The King of Wolves?
Well, probably not in the temple, but I suppose it could have been a guest room.
Or wait, who was the big dude from Middenheim?
The White Wolf.
That. Chance this might have been his room, because that dude was a follower of Ulfric, right?
Oh yeah, you.
I would imagine.
Yeah, it would be very hard to be the Count of Middenheim and not be an Ulrich follower.
Okay, let's do this. Open up this door, baby.
Sure, yeah,
Agreed.
no problem.
No shit, no, don't.
Too late.
All right.
You close the door, Hannibal?
No. Intrigue has run across me.
Daniela, Selmy, watch that door while we're in here.
Yeah, and I think they take up their positions at the door.
John, arm your stick.
The correct translation of that order is, of course, Selmy, please don't come over here.
Okay, so my detect magic is up and running. Is there any?
Oh, that just gets more colorful.
Yeah, so there's no magic, and I think you see now what the dripping sound was, Jericho. It is the dripping of the blood in the porcelain tub over here. That appears to be kind of running along the ground now as well.
Okay.
I await your expertise, Hannibal.
Well then, you know what I gotta roll, Jordan.
Yeah, it's Arcana. Let's see it.
Arcana? Oh shit. Fuck it, I'm gonna bust out my Tides of Chaos on this.
Cool. Those are good Tides of Chaos. So this is very obviously ritual sacrifice. Like it's almost dead on ritual sacrifice. What it's for, however, can be one of a couple of things, and I'll give you a couple of things because it actually would have required like a even higher roll to just know exactly, because a lot of it is very subtle in its differences. The two most probable are draining the life force of someone in order to fuel something, and draining the life force of someone to summon something, right? Conjuration or enchantment, basically. Or not enchantment, would it be enchantment is probably correct.
Enchantment's like taking control of something.
Oh, transfiguration, I'm sorry. That's what I was going for.
Transmutation.
Jesus. Got my Harry Potter stuck. So yeah, transmutation or conjuration, most likely. You already know that the head necro guy is kind of into conjuration, right? So that may be a good bet here. Some other more obscure things for this might be to try and have some powerful undead host visit, or some powerful undead spirit like inhabit this host, and in that case this would be the scene of a failed experiment, right?
Would the fact that this is carried out in a room like this and that there's tons of blood over here away from, so like this suggests that like all the blood's over here, it suggests that he was killed over there then dragged to here, his corpse was.
Yeah, that seems most likely.
So it means that he wasn't killed for the sacrifice; he was killed and then used.
Yeah. So right. So the fourth option is it might just be a murder that somebody tried to cover up.
Can I examine his body?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a medicine check.
I have this wild guess that you're going to discover that he was very clean when he died, apart from the blood.
Oof.
I have discovered that he is naked.
Yeah, so you discover that the individual is bled out. Basically, the only obvious things, right? There's a slit across the neck, and there's 2 slits across the down. I'm sorry, down the forearms.
Down the forearms.
So essentially, just this sanguination, man.
Can I flip him over on his back?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and what do I see? Is there any like marks on his back?
No, not that you can tell that look out of the ordinary. There's discoloration of the skin, probably from post-mortem bruising, but nothing too obscene or,
That's strange, though. If he was cut out from the neck and also his arms.
So the places where blood comes out?
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's strange to do it from 3 different places.
Depends how busy you are.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's probably a ritual. I don't think the way they've drawn this sigil on the floor is a coincidence. But you don't recognize him, do you?
Look at his face. Do I recognize him?
Yeah, that might require a that'll probably require a history check. Either one of you can do this.
What's Jericho saying? Does Hannibal recognize him? This is my town.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, like, this sounds like a Jericho thing mostly.
You said history?
12.
Yeah, history.
Fuck me,
Let's
God.
burn that inspiration.
Yeah, sounds good.
I die.
The fuck is wrong with you, Jordan?
So the only thing that you're happy about in this scenario, Jericho, is that Farron wasn't here to watch you fumble.
That's not a fumble.
And I watched it.
Jericho, I think the best thing you can tell, based on the way that this figure looks, is that it's a local.
Uh-huh.
It's probably the only, like, one piece of information you're able to glean from
I got
the
a 12.
observation.
Does that get me anything?
Probably the same information.
It's not a local.
That it's a local.
My investigation has taught me that it is not a local.
Look, okay. There are only so many people who will probably be bathing in here. It's got to be a cleric, but if it's not the high priest, well, it's not the White Wolf. It might be some other high priest. That would make sense under the circumstances, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Never mind.
And then I also turn him like, does it really matter at this point?
Well, if there's no other magic happening in here right now, I suppose not, but someone might care.
The
idea of someone caring is something that hadn't occurred to Hannibal.
Yes.
So I think that while you muddle that, we move back to the outside for some final, perhaps, combat.
That's fair.
Before the session ends. So next to go is going to be some retaliation attacks. Here on the Bear Riders are actually going to be first. Oop, I gotta move. Okay, there we go. So the attack on the Bear Riders is going to come first. So the guards line up their swings. These ones are using the maces. And they strike with... My computer is struggling with this. I think with that new thing and the dual maps, although it wasn't struggling on Sunday, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because we have so many people in that's probably, to be fair.
Could be it.
So Bear Riders are not particularly hard to hit. They're shock troops, man. So
Dub bears.
So a few of them are taken out. Dunzo. A couple of them fall from the guards attacking. Jeez, it is Hannibal's turn already.
So.
Yeah. So what are you guys talking about over there? Just briefly, what's the conversation?
So people care about other people. What's this concept?
Look, it doesn't. Never mind, Hannibal. We don't have time. You're sure there's no current magic radiating from this?
My eyes do the whole scan thing.
There's no magic discernible in this room.
Nothing I care about.
Okay. So you guys begin to move on.
West door.
Sure.
Right. So arriving at the west door. I gotta move all these.
Shit, that's not a door. That's a fucking wing.
It's a really big door.
Come on. Peter, you can do it. I believe in you.
Just stop moving.
No. It's I actually do know what it is. It's because I don't have update on drop turned on, so it actually takes a lot more like processing power.
Okay, isn't there a door here?
So there is no door in this specific room.
Simplifies things. Yeah,
this seems to be like a meeting area / dining area of some sort. And you can tell like the pews that are kind of spaced around the kind of cushioned chairs. This place appears relatively untouched except for some of the pots and the vases that have kind of fallen off and gotten crushed. So nothing really actually to note here. So there is a window though right here, to be fair.
Cool.
That looks out over the west side of the building. And I think that by this time you can kind of see that you see like the edges of some fighting going on outside. You can hear like the dull clash of metal on metal. Along with, I think you see that coming up from the west gate, since you're gazing out to the west, looks like a contingent of lizardman cavalry that are kind of riding up towards the flank of the fight that's currently ongoing. They're not quite there yet, but they are on their way.
So it looks like fighting has begun, so we might be able to move a little bit more easier.
Also, I realize now, I think that... Are the bears on this turn order?
Yeah, they're at 4.
They're at 4? Morella's at 4. For some reason I can't... Oh, okay, I see him. Okay, good. I was like, damn, I thought they were here. Okay.
I think that the plan of action now is we need to get on that balcony and go around. I don't feel like grabbing his attention yet until it looks like he's actually starting to cast something. Shit, he does look like he's preparing something.
I don't think there's any chance against that. All right.
So armed with that knowledge, Hannibal and crew and Jericho and crew are going to attempt to sneak around the balcony to perhaps gain some more information on what the individual is doing.
Speaking of which, I am not good at stealth.
Well, you're still like disguised.
Do you need me to turn you invisible, Hannibal?
What?
Do you need me to turn you invisible, Hannibal? Will you feel better?
I think I'd feel better if John was invisible.
John's fine. Look at him. He's an excellent zombie.
John, do your zombie mode.
He's been doing it this whole time.
John, zombie mode.
I think John does some half-hearted like,
See, that's shit. It's supposed to be like,
Look, neither of you are exactly going to draw in a crowd for performance. Let's just move on quickly. Not moaning would actually be better. It's going to draw less attention.
Fine.
So as the crew in the church creeps around the balcony trying to avoid notice from this individual down on the first level, the knights with Cahill clash into the opposing army and begin gutting and slaying as many as they possibly can. And I think with that is probably a good opportunity to close out for the night. With infiltration successful, fight ongoing, and everybody doing their jobs actively.
Good job, guys.
So, go team.
So let's talk about inspiration. 2 from you guys and 1 from me. Who do you guys think deserves inspiration for today?
freaking Aelin. That was some hurt you put on Bay Hill there.
Wow.
It's not incorrect.
I was gonna vote Jericho for putting up with Hannibal the whole time.
Yeah. Either one works for me. Aelin or
I also
Jericho.
nominate Kree for awesome one of my
yeah,
that was a really cool one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Yeah, mine was definitely going to Kree if you guys didn't choose him. So it sounds like perhaps Hannibal, Jesus, Hannibal, Aelin, and Kree.
Why'd I get inspiration?
Because I'm sorry, not Hannibal. No.
For putting up with me.
Jericho, Aelin, and Kree.
Thank you.
Don't I get anything from my Spark speeches?
I'm gonna defer my inspiration to Noct because he's the one who put in all the work in that fight. I'm gonna be honest.
Seems acceptable. But otherwise, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. You know what? You guys should get some experience.
What's our experience level now, by the way?
It's right at level 12. Whatever getting you to just level 12 is. Everybody's on the even playing
field. I think it's 100,000.
That seems
yes,
unlikely.
It is.
No,
it is
really?
100,000.
Yep. See, I actually looked this up like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So like levels 11 and 12 are really quick compared to like all the other levels. They are the shortest level gaps, in my opinion, from like the higher levels.
Yeah,
only
so
like 15,000 each.
I think that everybody can have, just every single person can have 1,500 experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to start doing this again.
Yep. Start marking down your experience. So everybody gets 1,500 experience. Congratulations.
101
for all of your slaying. And I'm going to do the outro. Thank you guys for showing up today. I really appreciate you dealing with all the craziness that came up, but we're back on a regular schedule now, so every Friday.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
it was. Have a good one, guys.
I will we'll see you guys next week, hopefully.
Hopefully. Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Hey everyone, glad you could be here today. It's been a lot of fun. A little bit, I know it was a little bit rough around the edges for our first session back after a little while, but thank you all for sticking with it. And hope you all have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and that's all I got. I'm tired, I'm gonna go to sleep. See you guys next time on Siege of Middenheim.